Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see how to make cinnamon rolls. Once you learn these rolls, I promise you won't go all the way to the mall just to get the cinnamon. So let's check the ingredients that you will need. Refined flour, milk, egg, dry yeast, sugar, salt, butter, brown sugar, cinnamon powder, cream cheese, confectionery sugar, vanilla extract. We'll start by adding the milk to the mixing bowl. Now use the lukewarm milk or room temperature milk. Now to this we'll add sugar and just mix it a little bit like this. Now we'll add dry yeast to it. Let it sit for a couple minutes. We don't want to activate the yeast too much because when we are going to knead it, it's going to get activated. So just couple minutes, okay? After the yeast and the milk sits for 2 to 3 minutes, we will go ahead and add 1 room temperature egg. And this is the dough hook that I will be using to kneading. I'm just gonna mix it. Once the egg mixed with it, we will add the salt. Ingredients and their quantities, you saw it in the beginning of the video and you will also find it in the description box below. So now we'll add 3 cups of flour. And now mix it all. Once your dough is mixed this much, we will attach this to the mixer and knead it more. The consistency of your dough needs to be really soft, like almost when you touch it, if it is sticking to your fingers, that's good. So that's how soft you need this dough to be. If it is hard dough, then make sure you add some water to it or some milk, okay? Don't go crazy with it, just little bit, like 1 tablespoon of water or 2 tablespoons as you need it, okay? Just to get this soft sticky consistency. Now to this we are going to add the butter. Now I'm telling you that you may need to add extra water or liquid is that because some flour will soak up a lot of moisture and some don't. So it depends on what type of flour you have. So that's why you may need to add little more water or liquid to it if your dough is soaking up a lot of water. So now we'll add the butter to here. This is 2 tablespoons of butter that goes in. You add the butter to this dough when it is kneaded this much, like where it is nice and soft and it's little sticking to your finger. That's when you will add the butter to it. And now we will knead it little more. We will stop kneading this dough once all the butter is mixed into this dough nicely. Put little bit butter on your hand and we'll get this all out. You see how nice and soft dough it is? That's what you need. It should not be hard dough at all, okay? For getting the soft, nice rolls. Now we'll just trying to turn it down like this. You see what I'm doing? Just doing this, okay? So try that. And then press it down like this. Okay, I guess that's good enough. Now I'm going to put little butter on my finger again, and this is room temperature butter. This time what I'm going to do is I'm grease this bowl so that when the dough is rising it won't stick to the bowl. Okay, okay, so this dough is ready to go. Press it down. Cover this dough and proof it until it's double in the size. Now I'm going to start the light of the oven and put it in there because that's the warm place in my house. You put it whichever is the warm place in your house. Now remember, you're just starting the light of the oven. You're not starting the temperature like heat of the oven, okay? You just want that nice warm temperature from the light. So let's do that. It will take an hour or so. While our dough is proofing, we'll make a cinnamon sugar. So this is a brown sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar. To this I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon powder. Super easy. You can adjust the quantity of the cinnamon and the sugar according to how much you like the cinnamony taste. Let's mix it all. So our cinnamon sugar is ready. We'll keep this aside. It took 1 hour to proof this dough. Now where I live the weather is really warm, so that's why it doesn't take long to proof the doughs. But if you live somewhere where the weather is really cold, it may take couple hours or 1.5 hours. Okay, so it depends on where you live. If you live in warm area, it's going to take only 1 hour to proof the dough. Now what we are going to do is punch the dough down, get that all air out. Now I'm going to dust a rectangular shaped pan with the flour, spread it real good. After this I'm going to put a dough in it. This is going to help us to get the rectangular shape on our dough, which will help us to roll it in the same shape. Otherwise it's very tricky to roll a dough in a rectangular shape. Now onto this clean surface, I'm going to put some flour. This is where I'm going to roll. Make sure you clean the surface where you will be rolling, okay? And now we'll put this dough on it. Okay. Spread some flour on the top as well. Now we'll start rolling this. Make sure you roll it both ways, up and sideways, okay? And my oven is ready. By the way, set your temperature of the oven to 375 Fahrenheit, okay? Once you're done rolling this, we are going to spread the butter on it. Now I'm going to use half of the stick, that is 4 tablespoons, roughly half of the stick. I may not need that much, okay? So probably 4 tablespoons is what I'm going to use. If you need more, you can use more. If you need less, you can use less, okay? The thickness should be like this much, okay? Okay, so we'll start putting the butter on it. This is room temperature soft butter, okay? I'm going to use my fingers to spread this butter. If you're not comfortable, use the butter knife. I don't like to use the butter knife because it punctures the dough, so I'm just gonna use my fingers. My fingers are clean. Now we are going to sprinkle our cinnamon sugar. Leave a little bit area, like 1 inch area down here. The rest you can put the cinnamon sugar on. So I'm just gonna draw like this. Now use your palm and spread it all nice. Once that is done, I'm going to take the rolling pin and just roll it over it. Now we are going to start making a roll. So take the small side here, roll it. Make sure you're rolling it tight. Don't leave any gaps in between. So make sure it's a really tight roll, okay? Our roll is ready. Now I have a measurements on this dough cutter. So I'm going to cut it like 2 inches or 1.5 inch actually. Use a serrated knife to cut this. Gently cut it so that it doesn't press it down. Now our rolls are ready to go into a pan. I grease this pan with the butter. So arrange your rolls with little gap in between because they're going to rise, and plus we are going to bake them where they're going to get more bigger. Now we will cover our rolls with the damp cheesecloth. You can use any kitchen towel. I'm using the cheesecloth, and I'm going to put this in a warm place for the second proofing. Okay? It's been 45 minutes. Let's see if our cinnamon rolls are ready, and yes, they are. So now they are ready to go in the oven. Before I put them in the oven, what I'm going to do is use a foil to cover them so that they don't burn. Now I'm going to bake these with the foil on for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I will take the foil off and cook it for extra 5 minutes. Okay? Let's make the icing for our cinnamon rolls. Here I have a cream cheese that is at the room temperature. I brought it to the room temperature so it's nice and soft. Now when you're making an icing for cinnamon roll, you're not looking for a stiff fluffy icing. You want something liquidy which you will pour over the cinnamon rolls. So here I'm going to add vanilla essence to it. All the ingredients and their quantities, you saw it in the beginning of the video, and also you will find it in the description box below. To this I'm going to add icing powder, powder sugar, anything you like. Now our icing for cinnamon roll is ready. You see how flowy it is. So this is ready. Let's keep it aside. So 25 minutes are done. I'm going to take the cover off and put this back in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? Okay, so I just got these out of the oven. They're smelling delicious, but I'm still going to wait for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to pour the icing over it. Okay, now we are going to put our cream cheese icing. You want to put it when it's still kind of hot. Don't put it over the cold one. If you want to have freshly baked cinnamon rolls for your morning breakfast, then you can make this recipe a night before. Do the second proofing of the rolls in the refrigerator for all night. Bake it in the morning and enjoy freshly baked cinnamon rolls with nice hot cup of coffee. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.